These three DJ techniques separates the beginners from the pros. So let's start with an easy technique that every pro DJ takes to the next level. Now there are three levels to this type of looping and we'll go through each one. So first things first, in order to do this trick, you'll need to do two things prior to performing this technique. First, identify the section of the current song you want to loop. For this example, I've chosen this section over here. Since the goal is to absolutely crush this loop, it's highly advisable to loop vocal sections in songs where there aren't too many conflicting elements, like drums or melodies. If you loop sections with too many elements, tightening your loop may result in something like this. When what you really want is something that sounds like this. Second, for the song you plan to mix with the loop, ensure it's cued and ready from its build-up section. This should typically be 16 or 32 beats before the chorus hits, depending on how intensely you want to manipulate the loop. For the upcoming example, let's do 16 beats. So from the track's chorus, we'll beat jump 16 beats backward and mark that section as cue point A. Now with those two things in mind, it's important to mention that we'll be making our loop the pro way, and that's by using the in and out buttons. So the in button marks where the loop begins, and the out button marks where the loop ends.
We gon' get it, we gon' get it, we gon' get it.
To make our loop sharp and stick to the beat, let's activate quantize as well. So here's the first step. With our current song playing and the next song cued at its build-up section, we'll create a one beat loop on the current song using the in and out buttons once you reach the desired looping point. Then, after 4 beats, we'll trigger the next song from its build-up section, which in this case is marked as cue point A. For the second step, as we approach the drop of the next song, gradually half the loop using the 1/2 X button. Now, if time permits, activate an echo effect on the loop to create an even smoother transition. And finally, when the drop of the next song hits, cut the loop any way you want. For this example, we'll backspin it away. Let's increase the intensity of this looping trick by incorporating the tempo fader to increase the loop's key, as well as a vinyl break effect to really send this loop off. Like the first level, there are a few things we need to adjust and prepare before performing this trick. Deactivate the master tempo/key lock on the first song. Set the first song's tempo range to wide. To achieve the vinyl break effect when stopping a track, follow these steps. For Rekordbox DJ, go to your preferences section. Then click this. And bring this knob to this position. For Serato DJ, go to your settings, then bring this knob to this position. Now let's proceed to doing this level 2 loop trick. So like level 1's first step, level 2's first step is exactly the same. And so the action lies in step 2. So as the current song's loop plays, starting from the point where we trigger the next song, in this case cue point A, activate an echo effect on the loop and gradually half it until it reaches 1/4. Then, as we approach the last 16 beats of the next song's build-up, gradually increase the loop's BPM using deck 1's tempo fader. And, just before reaching the drop, stop the loop to get that vinyl break stopping effect. Moving on to level 3. Just like the first step in level 1, the first step in level 3 is the same. For step 2, the key movement involves further tightening the loop using the in and out buttons. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, check this out. In that demonstration, we press the out button again to enable adjustments to the loop's out position. Then, we use a jog wheel to tighten it. We followed the same process with the in button to adjust the loop's in position as well. So tightening the loop this way results in a cleaner and better sounding loop. With that in mind, for step 2, once the loop starts, activate an echo effect. Then, press the out button to tighten the loop, followed by pressing the in button to tighten it even further. And make sure to do that once you reach the final 16 beats. Then finally, once you reach the last 4 beats, final break stop and start the track. Now let's move on to one of the most popular techniques top 100 DJs use to keep their mixes exciting and the crowd on their toes, wondering what the next song will be. Drop swapping. This technique works by switching the drops of 2 songs. In the example, we swap track 1's drop with track 2's drop using the volume faders, then followed up the transition with chops, and we'll cover that later. But for now, let's focus on drop swapping. Now, the first step, optional but highly recommended, is to ensure both songs are in key with each other. For this demonstration, both songs are in the same key to guarantee a smooth and seamless drop swap. Next, identify the drop sections in the songs you want to use. Then, from each drop, beat jump backwards by either 32 or 64 beats depending on how long you'd like the blend to last. For this demonstration, we'll beat jump backwards by 32 beats and mark those sections as cue point A. And with everything set up, let's do a drop swap blend. Now, with both tracks in sync and the current song playing, trigger the next song at its cue point A section when you reach the current song's cue point A section. Then, blend both songs together as you normally would. Personally, I like to incorporate an echo effect and reduce the current song's low frequencies. Now finally, right before the drop hits, cut the current song away. To take this trick to the next level, you can rhythmically swap between the first and second songs. The timing for this depends on the tracks you're using, so experimentation is key. For this demonstration, we'll let the second song play for 4 beats, switch back to the first song for 1 beat, then return to the second song and repeat. With those 2 technical techniques in mind, let's move on to an important lesson every beginner needs to master: how to mix between any genre and any BPM cleanly. This transition can be a bit controversial since it relies on the sync feature, but if you want the smoothest method for transitioning between BPMs and genres, this is the way to do it, at least for me. Now, there are 2 keys to this transition. Number 1, mixing at sonically empty sections in your current song, which most of the time would be the breakdown and outro section. Number 2, making sure your next song has a long intro, ideally 64 to 128 beats long. This ensures you have a lot of time to blend and smoothly adjust BPMs. So let's do this. First, make sure the song you'll be mixing from is designated as master and that both the extempo ranges are set to wide. With that done, let's do the first variation. With your current song playing and both tracks synced, wait until you reach the mix in point on the current track, here in this case. Then, trigger the next song. Next, gradually adjust the current song's BPM to match the native BPM of the next song. Then, as you approach the mix out point, mix your previous track away as you normally would. I for one would use an echo effect. Second variation, BPM sync with looping. For the second variation, we'll incorporate looping. Instead of waiting for the mix in point on the current song, create a 4-beat loop on a vocal section of the track.
We came to elevate.
Then, trigger the next song and gradually adjust the BPM of the loop to match the native BPM of the next song. Then, once you reach the mix out point, mix your previous track away as you normally would.
We came to elevate. 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 We came to elevate.
And those are the top 3 techniques to use. Now, if you want to see more of this, check this video over here.